So this is part number 162. It's line 18A, 3z3 Laplace Equation, Solenoidal Currents, Double Helix, Fouriers Law, Faraday Rotation, 5G Wow Seti. Just so you know, this was from the original line 18A. I'm at 18A 3Z now. But line 18A, these videos were actually supposed to be done at the beginning, and again, because there was so much data that came up with each line, I divided up into different components so that your videos aren't too long. My videos were getting to be 30 minutes long. I try to keep them 10 or 15 minutes now because I know you don't have much time during your breaks and stuff. So this is the Wow Seti alien radio signal. I always show you what that says. So what I did a Google of Laplace equation to find out what it was, and helical electric current. Those were two keywords that came up. I wanted to know what they meant. I got some pretty cool stuff from it. So we're going to look at Laplace equation now. It says in a quote, in mathematics, Laplace's equation is a second-order partial differential equation named after Pierre Simon Laplace, who first studied its properties. This is often written as that. Okay? And Laplace, okay, so you know what that is. And the scalar function. In general, is the Laplace determinant or Laplace Durham operator. This guy did a lot of different theories, by the way. The general theory of solutions is known as potential theory. Okay, his solutions are for harmonic functions. Now that comes up later on, and it's very important, so keep note of that. It's important for many fields of science like electromagnetism, astronomy, fluid dynamics. He describes the behavior of electric, gravitational, and fluid potentials, which is something we're going to need if we're going to work with plasma. And in the study of heat conduction, the Laplace equation is a steady-state heat equation. So basically in the Wow Seti data, it's saying you want to use the Laplace equation for your calculations for your plasma and heat conduction and anything to do with heat, heating the plasma, whatever. Your nuclear fusion, whatever. It all stems down from this equation. So this is Pierre Simon Laplace. He's from 1749 to 1827, so he's quite old. Well, he's not alive anymore, but you know what I mean. His theories are quite dated. Okay, so he restated and developed the nebular hypotheses of the origin of the solar system. So isn't that funny? Because we're still trying to find out, in 2012, we're what, over 200 years later? We're still trying to figure out what the origin of the solar system is, and we still haven't figured out. Although CERN is saying that they're coming close to their Big Bang theory, or proving how particles were originated in the first place for dark matter and stuff. So we're getting there. And it was one of the first scientists to postulate the existence of black holes and the notion of gravitational collapse. So so he's one of the first guys that discovered or wrote about the fact that he believed there were black holes in the universe. And now, as of 2012, NASA has proven there are black holes out there. I know they probably did it earlier, but we found a black hole, a wormhole, and a white hole. Two black holes that are connected out in the universe, probably within the last, I don't know when they were discovered, maybe in 2000 they were discovered. But 2012 is when we actually got photos of it from the Hubble telescope and from some of the new satellites we've sent out. He's also, this Simon Laplace, he's also was known as the French Newton, or Newton of France. Okay, so March 8, 2012, 3:17 a.m., my thoughts. Reading over the data here, the Laplace equation factors can be used in heating the plasma with the neutrinos formulas to study the amount of electric voltage and power variables, which can be used for the UFO engine design. In earlier lines of Wow Seti data, a heat conductor device, a new invention, was mentioned. I tried to look for it and I couldn't find it. I did find it. Never mind. So March 8, 2012, 3:21 a.m. Research keyword heat conduction in Wow Seti and other data from Maya. So that means all my notes on here. I do the research. And I found some data in 18H, which of course 18H hasn't even been filmed yet, and it hasn't even been, I'm still on 18A, okay, so you know how far I am from there, but the data that's come up later on. So this is Fourier's law of heat conduction, the molecular transfer equations of Newton's law for fluid momentum, data found in line 18F, the keywords is velocity profile, Navier-Stokes equations, thermal conductivity of the material. So line 18A3z3 Laplace equation is where I bring up heating in plasma plus the formulas equals 5g UFO engine speeds. The words conduction bands found in the carrier suspended in air calculations. That's another video I've got up for you to look at, where I talk about building the internal part of the UFO engine that floats midair and has a rotating shell. Yeah, this is quite extensive. If you go through all the videos, you can see all sorts of cool stuff. So this is a representation of a semiconductor liquid junction photovoltaic cell. Again, this video, I remembered this, so I brought it up. And it was found in the Journal of the Brazilian Chemical Society by J. Brans Saipolo. Okay. It talks about dye-sensitized, he or she, I don't know who it is, dye-sensitized solar cells, a successful combination of materials from Claudia Longo, Marco A. de Paleo from Brazil. So that came up. Then we have boundary conditions. I got some graphs for you to look at. Aren't they pretty? I like the colors. Awesome. Okay, so quotes. Laplace equation on an annulus. Okay. You guys can look at all this stuff here. The Dirac problems mentioned, talking about solutions. Again, harmonic functions. That's another keyword. It keeps coming up. So, and then this is solving the heat equation using the Fourier series idealized physical setting for heat conduction in a rod with homogeneous boundary conditions. That's what it looks like. So the following, this is a quote, the following solution technique for the heat equation was proposed by Joseph Fourier in his treatise Théorie analytique de la chaleur, published in 1822. Again, these are old theories from the 1800s, and we are now trying to prove them in 2012. Let us consider the heat equation for one space variable. This could be used to model heat conduction in a rod. The equation is this. Okay? Okay, so x is the space variable, L is the length of the rod, and t is the time variable. So t is greater than 0. Greater or lesser than 0. Again, that's on Wiki heat equation. The next thing that comes up in the data is called the double helix theory of the magnetic field. And the website's www.wbabin.net. Science Tome PDF there. And it's from FD Tome, T-O-M-B-E, and it was posted July 1st, 2010. He talks about positron, I keep saying he, it could be a she, I'm not sure. Positron dipoles that are aligned in a double helix fashion with their mutual, both gravity and electric current, although electric current is. Now I remember back at the very beginning of the line, the Wow Seti data, positron dipoles has come up before. Double helix has come up, but it was in the DNA, alien DNA. It came up with double helix, and human DNA as well. And electric currents, of course, we've got that through the whole thing. So this is a double helix nebula picture. I thought that was pretty, and I thought you'd like to see that. I found that on darkplasmatheory.blogspot.com. Check out their website, it's pretty cool. Helical fields and young stars, and again another site that's got a lot of stuff about that topic is at www.astro.columbia.edu. So here's a PDF file from helical fields from Portiski H. General Engineering Laboratory, General Electric Company, Shinkente, New York. 1959. This one's a real old one. And the current version's for 2009. So again, see how we write stuff and then it takes forever for us to figure it out. So here's an abstract. This paper is devoted to a study of helical fields, that is, fields which are invariant under screw motions of space, which move a certain helix into itself. Simple analytic helical invariant solutions of the Laplace equation are given and combined to describe the electrostatic field of a charged helix, and of the magnetic field of a helical current, electric current. A flux function is introduced for solenoidal helical vector fields, and differential equations resembling Cauchy-Riemann equations are derived from the potential functions of that and flux function of that. Certain graphical flux plotting methods are outlined and illustrated, and network analogies are suggested for solving these fields. And it's at the IEEexplore.ieee.org. So here's a nice pretty picture for you to look at. This is a black hole with magnetic field lines, which are these things. It's got an extragalactic jet, this area here. And it's got the accretion disk. And this is the black hole here. That is cool. Here's another one. Helical B jet fields, Faraday, and then there's the Faraday rotation. So quotes, the research done in the extragalactic radio astronomy group at UCC suggests that many of the observed jet B field structures may correspond to intrinsic, possibly helical B fields associated with the jets themselves. Helical jet B fields could come about in a natural way due to the combination of the rotation of the central black hole and accretion disk and the jet outflow. One key observational signature for helical B jet fields is connected to the phenomena of Faraday rotation, a rotation of the plane of polarization that occurs when a polarized electromagnetic wave passes through a region with 3 electrons in a magnetic field. The rotation comes about due to the different propagation velocities of the right circularly polarized and left circularly polarized components of the wave in the plasma. As was pointed out by Roger Bladford in the early 1990s, if some jets carry toroidal or helical B fields, this should lead to the presence of Faraday rotation measure gradients transverse to the jets due to the systematic variation of the line of sight component in the B field across the jet. Our group has found many examples of this phenomena, suggesting that helical B fields may be common in AGN jets. As posted at www.physics.ucc.ie. And it's called University College Cork Physics Department. And so I looked them up to see what they do. The Department of Physics is one of the largest, of Ireland's largest, so they're from Ireland. Most dynamic centers of scientific development with a focus on excellence in both education and research, and a particularly strong track record in PhD education. And there's their website address. So I'm going to Google Faraday rotation. I want to know what it is. In physics, the Faraday effect or Faraday rotation is a magneto-optical phenomena. That is an interaction between light and a magnetic field in the medium. The Faraday effect causes a rotation of the plane of polarization, which is linearly proportional to the component of the magnetic field in the directions of propagation. So March 8, 2012, 4:07 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, my thoughts. When I see the words Faraday rotation, I immediately picture the rotating shell of the UFO engine, sketch that I drew on diagrams of space travel message and shared it in a video called Space Travel Ship Symbol 0, Message Kepler 22b, May as a Central South Research Discovery. Part 12 of 15 video series. The rotation shell also comes up in one of the scientist's PDF files where he studies and writes his theories and test results. Okay, I didn't look him up yet. He's in line 17A is when you see the diagrams of an actual UFO that someone else drew that I found on their blog. So there's all our tags and stuff. Okay, so that's the end of that video.